Cheers and welcome to Irondale Brewing. Today we're going to talk about the Nukatap Counter Pressure Bottle Filler Kit. Had to say that slowly on my second take. This is another in my series of learn along with me as I try something for the first time videos. And so I have just unboxed this to the point where it's just a little bit fake unboxing where I've just looked at it, but I haven't actually used it yet. But I wanted to kind of get a sense of what was in the box so I didn't just blather incoherently about what you get in the box. Concept with counter pressure bottle fillers is basically if you have beer in a keg that you want to put in a bottle, you want a way to do that to reduce foaming, to reduce oxygen, and to just generally get the beer in there as quietly and safely as you can. And that's what counter pressure bottle fillers, knew I'd screwed up one of these times, are for. And so this, I did a little bit of research. This seemed to be the one that was going to work best for me. Seemed to be better than the beer gun options that are out there. And also because it's Nukatap and I have a Nukatap faucets on my kegerator, it's going to be compatible with that. So although as we'll see, you got parts to basically, you can use it with any kegerator. So we can just see what's in the box. A nice compact box, as you can see. The star of the show, of course, is the actual bottle filler. Get this out of here. And it's a nice, nice weighty piece of metal, which I appreciate. And basically the idea with these is you have gas coming in the side there. Beer goes in here. It has a telescoping. Hard to get a shot of the whole thing here, but we'll do a Star Wars type Star Destroyer shot there. Basically, it telescopes so you can use it with various bottle sizes. And the idea, just how you do this, we'll see, is you extend it all the way and then you kind of cinch it up so that this cap there goes on the top of your bottle. And the way you do it basically is you got gas coming in, you purge the bottle of oxygen before you start filling. And then beer comes in here, and you use pressure to basically just fill the bottle nice and slowly from your keg. Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned this is the purge button, and we'll see this in action. Step one, you stick this in the bottle. No beer in the bottle yet. Purge it a few times, get the oxygen out of there as best you can. This dial here controls the pressure. So basically, if it's filling super slowly or not filling at all, you want to mess with that a little bit to release some of the pressure to have it fill more quickly. And then once the bottle is full and you turn the tap off, you pull this thing to release the pressure from the bottle before pulling this off so you don't get beer spraying everywhere. So it's, like I said, it's a nice hefty piece of metal. It's nicely labeled on the back there. You can see it's, it'd be hard to screw that up. The fittings it comes with, so this is the default setup. These are 8mm duo-type fittings. If you're used to, if you're familiar with duo-type, that'll look familiar to you. And then it also comes with some other parts I'll talk about here in a second. So I'll just, meaning now, I guess. So it comes with a piece of 8mm duo-type hose. Sorry, can't get a good shot of that, but duo-type hose. Basic stuff here. And then it comes with some other fittings that I'll talk about as I go here with the carbonation caps come with. So this is a different type of fitting that is carbonation cap compatible. And then I think the other one it comes with, this looks like another Duo-Type 8, which I think is the same. Yeah, same as what's on there. And then this one, and that's just another carbonation cap compatible fitting. And then this one is pertinent to Nukatap faucet users because this is the one that you can just jam up into your faucet, which is kind of nice. You don't have to unscrew the faucet itself and put a different faucet on to do filling. You just, basically I'll just do that now since that's one I'm going to be using. Although I'll take this all apart again to sanitize, but these things come off pretty easily. Just unscrew that. And, oops, lost it. Put this on there. Just screws in nicely. They all come with the O-rings for good seals. And then this, as we'll see, will go up into the faucet. And then this one I won't take off. And I'll put on one of the carbonation cap compatible ones, which I think is this one. Again, goes in nice and easy, and everything's got O-rings. The thing I do appreciate about this kit is it's got literally everything you would need, even if you don't have Nukatap faucets. it has enough fittings that if you have duo-tight stuff, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I do appreciate too that you don't, like, for example, if the angles get weird with getting the bottle up underneath there, you can always use hoses to get things going so that this thing isn't stuck up in your faucet if you're filling large bottles or tall bottles that aren't going to work that way. You can kind of take this thing out of the, kind of off to the side and still have it work, which some of them you can't do that. They're a little bit more fixed. So that's probably the setup I'll use, I think. And my initial thought with the gas was that I would take the ball lock disconnect off the gas of the back of my kegerator and just use that, my big regulator and my big tank. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I think the problem there would be, or what I would be concerned about is if I run out of gas or pressure in the keg as I'm filling 12 bottles. So I'm going to leave that alone, and I probably will end up just using the SodaStream bottle because they are convenient as heck. So anyway, now that with that on there, this carbonation cap goes in there, and then you can just do a easy, quick disconnect for the gas. And again, it comes with one of these or another one of these carbonation caps that you could use for the fill line if you wanted to kind of not have this thing actually up in your faucet or don't have the Nukatap compatible faucets to use with that. So that's kind of the overview. I will get my act together and we'll start actually filling some bottles here in a second. Bit of a change of plans from what I thought I was going to do. I will be using the 8mm Duo-Tight hose as opposed to that carbonation cap for the ball lock disconnect. Reason being, if you look at this, this is the setup on the mini regulator on SodaStream canister for the, takes a reducer. I think it's a 4mm to 8mm reducer, and then you plug a hose in. And that I think is going to be a lot more convenient than, I got my other setup here with the ball lock that I sometimes use for kegging. And as you can see, the angle there would get kind of funky to work with the it being attached to the counter pressure bottle filler. Probably could come up with something if you move. Nice thing about these Kegland mini regulators is you can move that ball lock to the bottom. But again, just it seems like that'd be weird. Again, going through this for the first time, so I'm figuring it out as I go. But I think just having the flexibility of just having that hose off to the side and is going to do wonders. So we're going to use the, I haven't sanitized this stuff yet, but basically this reducer is what I'm talking about that goes to the, connects to the side of the, thing does not want to focus on that. Nice camera work there, bud. Anyway, this reducer, there we go, connects to the side of that, this barb sticking out of the side of the regulator there. Okay, and then the other end of this is just your normal 8mm Duo-Tight. So I'll just use the hose that came with it. Seems like a decent length, and then we'll screw that into the gas inside of the bottle filler. And then, this is only out of there because I got to get it sanitized. And then this is the, again, we'll be using this tap faucet adapter for the top part. Here we have the kind of preliminary setup after things have been sanitized. This part anyway, I have a bucket going with 12 bottles in it. Basically, like I said, I'm using this SodaStream canister. I will set that to, basically you want it to be the same pressure as your keg, and I think I've got mine set to about 11 PSI, so I'll set that to the same. And then it's got that reducer, Duo-Tight reducer going to the 8mm outer diameter Duo-Tight hose. Goes over to the counter pressure bottle filler. You can see, you can probably do it from either side. It's kind of handy to have it facing this way so you can see the labels, which again are really nice. And then that fitting that goes right up into the faucet there. Telescoping thing is, I don't know what happens. I flipped this camera, so let's back up. Is extended all the way just to show how that works. And then I'll show basically, you can see that there's not a lot of space there, but there's probably enough that I can kind of get a, kind of shove it back up in there and get a bottle in there and then re-extend it to make sure I get a nice tight fit at the top. And then we'll do some adjustments and see how this goes. Hopefully this angle will work okay without me getting too much in the way. Obviously I need to get in there a little bit, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is just turn the pressure on that mini regulator and the SodaStream canister up to 11 PSI, since that's what the keg is at. Okay, so it's kind of in the range 10 to 11. Looks like it's settling around 10.5. That should be okay, and again, you can adjust as needed. So got the pressure on the gas line into the counter pressure bottle filler. And next I'm going to grab a bottle. For this, I am using, for this experiment beer, I'm using, I'm sure I will get some hate for this, PET bottles. And the reason for that is because, well, I just like them. And they're lighter and they won't break. And hopefully this will work. I don't know. My only thing I don't know, and that's, you know, why I'm calling this a learn as I possibly make a fool of myself the first time I'm doing stuff video, is I don't know if the threaded top of these PET bottles is going to be compatible with the bottle filler, but we will find out. Okay, so it looks like I can get that under there pretty nicely. Looks like kind of extending it afterwards is a little bit of a challenge. Well, I may need to rethink what I'm doing here. And yeah, because if I have it all the way out, because obviously you can't bend this part because that's the faucet. If you have it all the way out, then it doesn't work. And I think the problem is that once it's up in there, I can't get it all the way down to the bottom. And you do want it all the way down to the bottom for sure, both for slow filling and so you're purging nicely all the way from the bottom. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to change my tactic here I guess I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll have to do the ball lock on the, well, let's see. Maybe I can mess with this enough. So this is turning out to be a pretty messy process, as you can see, but trial and error, I think I have a pretty good process going now. So basically, wipe up some beer here. Quite a mess. What I'm finding is if I pull this thing out of pull the filler out of the faucet, extend this all the way, and then put it back in there, purge. I've been doing about 10 seconds or so. Okay, and then the key is hold this up against the filler tight. That's point number one, and don't let it go, because if you know, I may or may not leave this in here. On some earlier ones, I was kind of like, I wasn't holding up there tight, and as the pressure built, it would pop out a little bit, and that causes foam. And when you got foam, you end up with too much headspace. So what seems to be working now is basically if I have it up against there tight and then open the faucet wide, because that's the other thing I found. If you try to be too gentle on the faucet side of things, you get more foam. And kind of as this goes, it starts to fill more slowly as the pressure kind of builds, equalizes, whatever. And then the foam starts to go away. And it starts to fill more slowly. I don't know if you can really see that. And even, I'm pushing pretty hard, and even now it's like it's still popping a couple times. But this is way better than my first attempts. And so it's going pretty slowly now, which is what you want. I could probably let this go a little bit quicker. But slower is better. And just keep that pressure pushing up so that, and if you see it stop filling, then you do need to loosen up a little bit, which I did there just a little. But you can see by the time it's getting full, not a lot of foam. This just took quite a bit of trial and error on my part. And depending on how I cut this, sorry if some of this is redundant because it was super messy and I may or may not keep certain sections of it. But Glass versus PET didn't matter. This thing does not, you know, hold the bottle for you or anything. Okay, so we're getting to the top there. It'll loosen it up a little bit. Just make sure I get beer all the way to the top. Okay, you can see there's some beer coming out the top, which is what you want. So I'm going to shut the faucet off. Oh, I knocked my other faucet on, which I've been doing all day. And then pull this thing a little bit. Let that pressure off. You can feel it on this PET bottle go. And then again, to get it out of here, I'm having to do this, but that's not a big deal. Pull that out. And you have a nicely filled bottle. I don't know if you can see this on camera. It goes up to about there, which is great. And then I'll screw the cap on there. And there you have it. May do a couple more, just do some time lapse. You can see that a couple times. But once I get it figured out, it's working pretty well. I think, like I said, the key is make sure that you are holding the bottle up against this thing the whole time. Because if you let that pressure start to escape, you get tons of foam, and you get a lot of foam at the top, and then by the time you put the cap on, you got too much headspace. So that seems to be the key based on my experimentation. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. I really don't know what's happening here. God, if I kicked my keg, I am screwed. I may have kicked my keg. All right, so anyway, nothing like not knowing what I'm doing. So this keg did kick, which is insane because I had a couple samples of it. I think while I was doing this, I probably just went through enough beer because I did a 2.5 gallon batch. You know, by the time it gets in the keg, you're still looking. I still should have been looking at about 16 pints, and those are 500 ml bottles. I don't really know what happened there, but clearly the keg is empty. Nothing's clogged. You can hear gas coming out of there. This is the dregs of the strawberry wheat. It's a nice strawberry quick color. Anyway, so this turned into an interesting video, but that's how you do the counter pressure filler. Hope that was helpful. I don't know what I'm going to do about being short on the experiment beer. I will have to plead mercy and see what happens. Maybe I'll just be a taster. I don't know. But anyway, that's the Nukatap. Again, to review, the keys are, once you have this thing all the way down to the bottom of the bottle, in fact, I'll just grab a bottle and run through that one more time. Bear with me while I drain one. So basically, again, for the angles, I just pull that out every time. It comes out nice and easy. Maybe not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Telescope this thing all the way down. Make sure it's hitting the bottom of your bottle and just push it up a little bit. Purge for a few seconds. Hold it tight. Jam it in there. I won't do this. And then hold it tight the whole time. In fact, I got this thing flipped around, but hold it tight the whole time. And then the foam will dissipate, and you'll see by the time you get to the top, there's pretty much no foam. We see a little bit of beer coming out here. That's good. Shut the faucet off. Pull that to release the pressure. Pop this out, and you got a nicely filled bottle of beer. I will show you one that came out really well, depending on how I cut all this stuff together. It's like this is one. I'll get behind the camera and see if you can see. This is one. Can't really see well, you can kind of see. The bottle gets thick up here, but trust me, it's up to there. I can see the line. I don't know if you see it on the camera, but that's a nice fill. Some of the other ones I did earlier, before I got the technique down, you probably can see this. They only come up to here, and probably not the end of the world, but not as nice a fill. So anyway, that was my very haphazard learn as I go video on the Nukatap counter pressure bottle filler. Now that I get the hang of it, I do like it. This is not looks like a war zone in here. Not a great final shot of a product review / how-to video, but I will say, you know, some of the spill some of the drip / spill in the drip / spill tray is me. Some of it is just it's a little bit messy. Next time I will probably, if I have the room, I think it would work, get rid of the drip tray and just put one of those kind of restaurant bus containers. This is what I'm talking about, this thing, under there instead. That will trap stuff much better and keep the top of the kegerator clean. But all told, you know, for a first time, not bad. I'll do much better next time. Thanks for watching. See you next one.